Okay, Super Duty Tough Work, the most infamous podcast on planet Earth and beyond.
We here.
We are in the building, doing the damn thing. Oh man, we got a cool topic this week.
Pretty dope.
Way different than usual.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our fans should hopefully dig it, be into this one. And, today's topic, we're talking about, because we never really talk about fathers specifically,
right?
Or fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
But this is kind of about fatherhood.
Yeah.
And this episode is going to be titled Lessons from Our Fathers.
Yeah.
And it's about 10 things that we learned from our fathers growing up. Some good, some bad, but all very real.
Very, very real.
And I think this will hopefully just inspire some conversation from people, especially when it comes to some of the lessons we learned that were not even directly taught to us.
Right.
Through observation.
Right.
And we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Where?
We got you stuck off the realness, the most infamous, you heard of us. Official podcast murderers, the show comes equipped with viewpoints to share. Grown man ideas for all those who care and wanna grow, so go ahead and download. Every single week with a brand new episode. You're not alone in this world, cousin, so we share information and honest discussion and keep repping the culture like we supposed to. They spread gossip, but they never come close to. I can hear it inside their tone. They talk about the industry but never left their home. You get laced up with bullet points and such, plus empowering topics that they never would touch. You can put your whole network against the team, but Super Duty Tough Work's the MVP. Most valuable podcast on MP3. Priceless info, but all of it's free. So take these words home and think them through. Super Duty Tough Work is coming at you. You are now listening to Super Duty Tough Work with your host, Blueprint. Raw and uncut. Adult conversations. No shucking, no jiving, and no bullshit.
Right.
All bars.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be great.
Good stuff.
Lessons from our fathers, man. This is something that it's gonna be cool. It's an interesting grown man conversation, and we bring those to you every week on the podcast, man. So let me get started with number one.
All right.
Okay, lesson number one. Okay, I'll start with the story. So this was one day. It was probably like this time of the year, summertime.
Okay.
So I was out playing with my friends. You know what I'm saying? Just wilding. I was probably around 10.
Okay.
Up and down the streets, sweaty, dirty, playing in the mud, just
being a kid.
Yeah. But I was just like extra grimy with it. So I remember I came in the house a couple times, and my energy was just all over the place. And I remember my pops came home and he just looked at me and I just ran up on him like, hey, what up? And he just snatched me by the collar, you know what I'm saying? And he just he slapped me real soft, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like get it together kind of slap.
Yeah, like calm down.
Yeah. And he was just like, yo, man, look at yourself, man. He said, yo, man, just look at you. You dirty, you sweaty, you looking crazy, and you represent this family. He said, you out here, he said, go inside and get cleaned up, man. Don't be out here looking crazy like that. And the lesson I took from that was about dignity. Have dignity. From a very young age, that lesson struck me as, you can do whatever you want, but understand at the end of the day, you're representing everybody. Right. When people see me on the street looking like a fucking crazed maniac, sweaty, dirty kid, they're gonna say his parents ain't on their job. He wasn't disciplined properly or raised properly because he's out there doing that. Right. And my father, in one quick, you know what I'm saying, a little slap on the cheek, taught me a big lesson about dignity. Facts. Like, you gotta have dignity out here. I don't care how small you are or big you are. Have a sense of pride in how you carry yourself, not just for you, but also for your whole family.
Yeah, I try to do that with my kids.
Yeah.
You know, because these days, we talked about it before, the sagging of the pants, you know, the things. It's like, I don't want you out here looking like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to look at you in a way that does not reflect who you actually are, the type of person that you actually are. And when you present yourself in a certain way, you're doing that. And your reflection on me and your mom.
Yes.
You know, so I do my best. You know,
It's probably a daily struggle.
It's hard, dog. It's hard, man. Some days I just want to smack him in the face,
like my dad did me.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
for real. Yeah, he didn't get me for real.
Yeah,
my pops rarely hit me for real.
Yeah, yours was just like, wake up.
Yeah, it was one of those like, yo, back to reality, little man. I was like, oh snap, you're right.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's funny, man. You know, when you're young, obviously, like your individuality is something that you start to develop and get more and more to. By the time you're a teenager, you just want no supervision.
Right.
You think you know it all.
You just want to be you.
Be you.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means, right?
Exactly.
For better or for worse.
Exactly.
With little understanding about pride, dignity, your family, and the responsibility comes to those who you live with, and your whole lineage, all the people who had to do something to get you to that point. My pops made me see that, man. And it wasn't, he ain't had to lecture me.
Right.
He only said that once. The rest of my life, I always thought about that. Like, yo, I'm not about to be out here looking crazy like I was on that day that my pops had to take me to the side, because he rarely ever did anything like that to me. And so when he did, it meant so much more.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. I guess, you know, you were one of those kids that understood those times were special.
Yeah.
It's just a different thing that happens with other kids and other families and how kids take things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you don't understand that those moments are special and those moments are to be cherished, then it's hard to pick apart the lessons that can be learned out of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, if you get older, you can see it. Like,
right.
Okay, he did teach me some shit, even though he didn't lecture me, you know? And, you know, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's my number one. So,
Yeah.
so what do you got?
Nice. Well, for me, when I was young, because I grew up, my biological father wasn't around. So I grew up with I call him my father, since I was 2. And ever since I can remember, 5 a.m., I mean, you know, like early, he was up getting ready for work.
Yeah.
Every day that I can remember. Going to work, coming home, because he was an electrician.
Yeah.
So going to work, working cold outside, winter, doing electricity for buildings all around Columbus, Ohio. And even to this day, you know what I'm saying? Still working. He shouldn't be, but he is still,
because he loves it.
Because he is still working. And so, I mean, the lesson I got from that is just work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, he always had a job and he always made sure that we was taken care of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there was never, you know, really any lack. More thanks to my mom, because she held the things together at home. But he, you know what I'm saying? He went to work and made sure that, you know, there was things were taken care of for the family. So,
yeah,
you know, and one of the things my wife says, she's like, no matter what, Jawar gonna have a job. If he ain't, you know, no matter what it is,
she know
he's gonna be working somehow, whether it's doing music, whether it's, you know, working at a gas station, he gonna make sure that he got some money coming in to provide for his family. And that's what I learned growing up, is like, you always got to make sure you're working to, you know, provide for your family, no matter what it is, whether it's something you like or something you hate.
Yeah. And the deep part is like, now you have 3 sons,
right,
who are watching you do the same thing.
Exactly.
And when they get of age, they're going to be like, subconsciously, that message is going to be in their head.
Yeah.
They don't know it's been generation after generation of men just holding it down, waking up every day.
Yeah.
And going to work.
Yeah. Getting busy.
Yeah. That's fire. But you know what's crazy? Like, these are lessons that sometimes are lost with men who don't have the proper male father figures.
Yes.
That's a big one.
Definitely.
Like, imagine being a young man growing up in a house where the dude lays around.
Yeah, and don't do shit.
The woman goes to work. The man just smokes, drinks, does nothing. That can have a generational effect.
Hell yeah.
On a child.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucked up.
Yeah, unless you're a smart kid and you wake up and like, I'm gonna make sure I don't do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But if you see that person in that position is getting whatever they want, you know what I'm saying, getting to move about how they please, you know, then you may see it as, oh, well, this is how it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You know, so it's shaky ground there.
Yeah, I think I was the same way, and taking that from my pops. I never really thought about it, but it's my pops retired from UPS.
Okay.
And so, you know, and he always worked third shift.
So he was going to work.
Yeah, when he
was coming home from school.
Yeah, we'd have like an hour or two together, and he'd be out. Then he'd get back in at 3:00 in the morning by the time we was asleep or something. So it was like, but you know, as long as I can remember, I always had a job of some sort.
Yeah, exactly.
I always had a hustle.
Yeah.
You know, from paper boys to selling, you know, candy to to when I was old enough to work, I got a job. Before I was old enough to work, I was busting tables, you know, at the Ohio State Fair, cutting grass. You know how it was.
All
we had
that.
some hustles.
Yeah.
Raking leaves,
all the shoveling snow.
Yeah, shoveling snow. Anything we could do to get money back then. And it was just normal.
Yeah.
And I'd like to believe that just seeing that work ethic rubbed off on us.
Yeah,
it's like,
had to.
Yeah, like sitting around broke is not.
Yeah, it's not the thing.
It's not in the vocabulary.
Yeah, it's not the thing.
No.
Never just sit around broke.
Nah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, to this day, same thing. I've had a lot of shitty jobs, but yeah, I've had some good jobs. And I think a lot of that is like, you understand that you got to work to get whatever.
Yeah, you got to work for what you want. It's not going to be handed to you.
Yeah. You know, it's other ills. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, this is like the industrial belt of the city, you know, those factories and stuff over here. When I was a kid, my dream was to live out here and walk to work at one of these factories.
Wow.
I didn't want to be an astronaut. I didn't want to be a superstar. I didn't want to be that. I just wanted to be able to walk up the street to one of these places, work, and come back home. I was like, that's the life.
That's crazy.
I think it's like because of my pops and my moms, you know what I'm saying? Because they worked in and out of some of these places. The UPS was like a couple miles south of here and out in Obetz, you know, where my dad worked and my mom worked.
Yeah, it's right down the street from where I used to work.
Yeah. So it's like crazy. But, you know, we raised, I mean, obviously, motherfucker went on to do a lot more than
of course,
walk up the street.
Of course.
Work. Facts. Yeah. But, you know, from humble beginnings. As a kid, that was the simple life to me. That's all I wanted. It's like, it's a simple life. You know, you walk up there, you work, you come home, you kick with your family. The end.
Yeah.
You know?
That's it.
That's it, man. Okay, we'll do my my next one. My next one is, okay, so this one is about, so one day, me and all of my sisters, I had two sisters, Anita and Pam, and I was the youngest of four. So I was always smaller than everybody, always either getting whooped up on or bullied. But I would try to hold my own for many years. You know what I'm saying? But I had no wins. All L's as a kid. Like,
that's great.
To this day, I have no wins in any of my family fights. Like with any of my older siblings, they pretty much are undefeated against me, lifetime. And then by the time I got older, as I started to get older, you know, you get to that age where you're now their size. And now the fights change.
Right. Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah, because when you was 8, they was big as hell.
Right.
But you 14 now.
Right. We the same size.
Yeah, we the same size. You ain't gonna be doing that to me no more. So I remember getting into it with my sisters one day, and it's just this argument would never stop, and it just kept going. I just kept jumping back in and escalating and da da da. And then my dad took me to the side. I think he actually took me outside to this one. He said, "Look, man," he said, "somebody got to back down." He said, "Women ain't gonna back down.
Choose your battles."
Yeah.
Choose your battles, son.
He said, what's gonna happen? You keep arguing. He said, you think they gonna stop? You think they gonna say you right? He said, they ain't. Y'all been out there 30 minutes doing this. He said, they're not gonna say you right. Somebody gotta back down. Son, just back down. Just let it go. Yeah. It don't even matter.
Yeah. In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
What is it about? You'll probably remember what the argument was about.
I don't even remember, man. I didn't even end. It was nothing.
Right.
It was nothing. Yeah. But it was everything to me at that moment.
Of course.
Just because of pride.
Yeah.
Right. But then I didn't understand. It's such an ill lesson just about like the nature of men and women. How, you know, a woman can be emotional 5 minutes straight. Minute 6, she done forgot it, let it go, whatever. Dudes, we're more chill, but once we get hot, we stay hot.
Yeah, we stay hot.
Yeah,
bubbling.
bubbling. We'll bubble for 5 more minutes.
Right. So after everything is over,
we be steaming. Like,
come back like, and another thing.
Yeah. How you just gonna?
They done left the shit
They done left it
alone.
alone. They chilling,
Right.
smiling, playing.
Right.
Oh, you still tripping on that, babe? You be like, motherfucker. Why you get me all fucking hype like this? You fucking with me. But that's just the men and women are different like that now.
Yeah.
And if you don't, my pops was teaching me that then.
Right.
Like, look, son, this lesson is gonna save you a lot of arguing in your relationships, man.
Yeah.
Because you can keep arguing as long as, but they not gonna let that go until they decide. So just dead it. There's nothing weak about walking away.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not, you're not a little punk or a little pussy just because you say, look, man, okay, cool. I'm gonna go over here and let this go.
Yeah, let her fight another day,
I'm out.
man.
That's what it is. And I didn't know that till he told me to decide, man. So, never argue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Pick your battles.
that is facts. As a married man, I'm definitely in line with that. With those things, I've been married long enough to where I got a couple wins in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
a
couple. But it's in comparison to her, they're pale, very pale.
She got the Mike Tyson record,
right? Like very pale in comparison. You know what I mean? And sometimes like we'll just be going, and at one point it's just like, okay, babe, all right,
yeah, it get funny after a while. Like,
yeah, you got it. Nah, you got it. You good. You right. I was wrong. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. You know what I'm saying? Inside you like, motherfucker, just stop talking about it. Please.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, thankfully I ain't,
Yeah, man.
Pop saved me.
Yeah, that's a big one. This is one of those lessons I learned because my pops didn't do it.
Okay.
So as I said, my pops was an electrician coming up, and he had, they had union and all that stuff, and because of the type of job that he had, at any moment he could be laid off.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't secure. You know what I'm saying? Like even though he had done the job for a long time, every job was different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so if you're working on a building, once that building is done, once you got all the electrical in there, the job is over. You know what I mean? So one of the things that I learned watching that is always have multiple streams. Always have multiple things that you're doing that you can make money from. Yeah. Because even though my pops made good money when he was working, when he was laid off, collecting unemployment, you get 60% of your, you know what I'm saying? Like something like that. So, and he didn't have other streams, even though my mom tried to get him to have other streams and do side jobs and things like that. And every now and then he would, but not to the consistency to where by now he should have his own business. But that's another conversation. Yeah. But that's one of the things I learned, to always, to never let my financial well-being be in the hands of somebody else at all times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Always have a way to make money, even if your main way to make money dries up.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's real life, man.
That's super deep.
One of the reasons why I do things the way I do them today. You know what I mean?
Because that'll cause tension in your household.
Hell yeah, it will.
They say, what's the number one reason for divorce is financial stuff?
Hell yeah, it is.
If that's the case, then, you got to be on your hustle.
Yeah, because in those times, like, he would get depressed, and you know what I'm saying, then moms would have to do hair and do side things to make a little extra money for this, and still try to, so we didn't really know what was going on. Like, I was the oldest, so I knew what was going on, but mom had to supplement a lot of that, in those times that pops was in those those trenches of his life.
That's real.
And I noticed those things, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm always gonna have something coming in, some passive income. I didn't know that's what it was called then. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I gotta get money. I gotta always have money coming in.
All the money.
All of it.
Give me that money. That money.
That money over there.
Oh, you come over here.
Yeah.
All the money.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that was a lesson. I definitely learned that.
That's dope. Yeah, I learned that probably subconsciously from my parents as well. Like my pops and my mom's, my mom's always did like the art thing. Right. She always had a regular job, but then she had moments and long periods where she would just make dolls and arts and all kind of crazy stuff and have shows and showing and travel and do these festivals and stuff. And that kind of hit me like, oh, You ain't gotta just.
You ain't gotta have a 9 to 5.
Yeah, you can do multiple things. You can have your art and still go to work. You know, because she would go to work and then she'd come home and she'd just be sewing all night, making stuff for her show that weekend or something like that. And I remember my pops tried to open he had like a little hair care supply store in Mount Vernon.
That's dope.
Yeah, and like. Gosh, what was it? I was in probably middle school.
Okay.
It only lasts about 2 years. You know what I'm saying? He was sleeping in there. You know, he couldn't really. He was grinding. But it wasn't really making that much money. It was that little plaza right on the end of Mount Vernon.
Yeah, I know that. I know that place.
Yeah. So he was right over there, man. And I remember being in there helping watch it for a couple days and you know, holding it down. But he still had a regular job. Yeah. But because he worked third shift, he could kind of finesse both for a while. But it got eventually too hard and it didn't do that great. But that is how I learned that lesson.
Where?
But that's number 2 from you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a break and we'll be right back. What up, everybody? Blueprint here to let you guys know that all 3 of my books are finally back in stock. That means right here, What a Night. This book is back in stock. It's $10. This is a book about the worst shows in my career. That's 10. Word is Blog Volume 1 is back in stock. That's $10. And also, The Making of Adventures in Counterculture. This book is about my Adventures in Counterculture album. If you have the album, you love the album, you should have a book too. That's $10. All 3 of these books are back in stock for $10 each, or you can get all 3 of them for just $25 right now on waitlist.net. That's all I got today. Thanks for your support. Peace. Okay, those guys. Lessons from our fathers.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, man. When was Father's Day?
It was last 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I wish I would have thought of this then.
Yeah, right. It would have been a good one.
Yeah. So I guess people will run this back on Father's Day next year. We post it or something. Okay, here we are. Lessons from our fathers. My next one. Okay. Slow and steady wins the race. So I learned this lesson during my dozens of trips back and forth to Alabama with my family. So everybody else in my family was kind of one of those like up and down speed, do 80 for 5 miles and then do 60 and do 80, these herky jerky drivers. But then I remember when me and my pop started driving to Alabama, just me and him, to see his side of the family. He was the first guy I ever saw just use cruise control.
Oh, that's all I do, bro.
Yeah.
All I do.
Everybody else would be all frazzled. And I remember the trips with everybody else, but it was me and my pops, it would just be real peaceful.
Calm.
And he just 65, he throw it on 67, 68 and just mob out.
Just cruise.
Just cruise, man. And I remember, I was just coming of age to where like I was driving. So naturally, he was just sitting there watching me like, fuck everything up because I'm just coming in with the you know what I mean? I'm like 18, 17. Right. I'm driving all wrong.
Yeah, you think every time everything is a rush.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You really got to be there.
Gotta get there.
You got to get there as soon as possible.
And my pops made me see that like, yo, man, there's a such thing as like driving for just enjoyment. It doesn't have to be like, I gotta get there now. It has to be a race.
Right.
I gotta put my medal. It's like, yo, this is a 12-hour drive.
Right.
And actually, you get there faster if you just put it on this thing and lock it in. Yeah. Than if you do all this speed and slowing
consistent.
up. You're consistent.
It's consistent speed.
A consistent 65 is better than doing 75, 80 for a couple miles and slowing down every time you see a cop or taking 20 breaks to smoke. It's like, yo, man, my pops, he would be chilling in the driver's seat like he's fucking reading a newspaper.
Right.
12 hours. He's just chilling. Turn signal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was nothing to him.
Right.
And that's a long fucking drive. And I was like, how was he doing these long drives so calm? But it was just like he knew. Like, slow and steady wins the race, man. Like, that's how I learned that from him.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's real good.
So I drive the same way. You guys.
Yeah, you do.
You see me on tour.
You straight up like that. Cruise control. We hitting maybe 5 to 7 over the speed limit. Maximum. Cruise control. Mad comfy.
Yeah.
And we get there, minimal stops.
Minimal stops.
Just
chilling. Get there early all the time.
All the time.
And we're never, and it's just like, I learned that from my pops, man. I didn't learn that on my own. I wish I could say I learned that from driving on my own. It's like observing him all those years and being like, oh,
yeah,
this is actually a really peaceful time right now.
Yeah, that's how you do. Because driving should be a peaceful time, even if the people around you are not, in their peace.
Right.
You're within your own car, and you should be able to control what's in your own environment. And it should be peaceful.
Yeah.
You control the music. You control how fast you go. You control the mood in your car, the surroundings in your car.
Come on, bro.
It should be peaceful.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Right.
Most people.
We're
in like the road rage era. Where people get in their cars and they're just constantly tense and upset because of what someone outside of them is doing. It's like, yo, you can't control that other car.
Right.
You can't make them go faster.
Yeah.
You can't make them turn when you want them to turn or not merge. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
You be stressing out the whole fucking time, man.
Yeah, my favorite is when like somebody speed around you.
Yeah.
And then you meet them at the red light.
Yeah, they be scared to look over like,
right.
I didn't get there no faster.
Exactly, bro. We still waiting at the same light.
Yeah.
This shit is beautiful.
Yeah.
I always look over when I'm like,
you like,
how's it hanging over there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the real shit.
Yeah, man. That's great.
Yeah, so what's your next one?
All right, so my third one is basically how to treat a woman. This is a general one.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Getting deep now, okay.
Yeah, because, and this is another thing that I saw, because they did not do
How
it.
not to.
How not to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, my pops he went to work, came home. That was it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, never really saw any affection, much affection between him and my mom. Never really saw flowers, never really saw things. And how they interacted reflected how I seen, like what I thought how he was treating her.
Yeah.
In certain situations. And, that's one of the reasons why I was always cool with all the women when I was growing up in high school and middle school, because I knew how, and I have mostly women in my family. My mom has mostly sisters, 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And, I learned, because most of the women in my family had men that basically treated them like crap.
Yeah.
So I always was around and heard the complaints, heard the, things.
Never buy me flowers.
Yeah, he don't do this, he don't do that. And even though I understood a little as I got older, a little more of the male side, but I understand also that there are certain things that you, as a man in a relationship, that you should do for your woman,
just to keep the shit,
to keep the peace for one, but also if you love them, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really love them, really care for them, other than, you going to work every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are certain things, especially if they working too, then what's your excuse?
Yeah. That's
You
real.
know what I'm saying? If they coming home and cooking you dinner, cleaning your house, and all you do is go to work.
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
Yeah.
For not at least doing something, getting them a card every now and then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just even saying I love you, I appreciate you every now and then. Like stuff like that, I really learned because I saw it wasn't done, and I saw how it affected my mom and the other women in my family.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good though. Yeah, I don't think my dad was a good example in that department either.
most dads back then weren't.
Yeah,
because their fathers probably just got up and went to work. Yeah. Came home.
You perfected and you provided.
Yeah, that's what you did. That was your job.
All that lovey-dovey shit.
Yeah, that's out the window.
I'm protecting and I'm providing.
Yep.
Bruh, that's it.
That's what I'm supposed. Yep, exactly.
Can I eat?
Yep. Straight up. Yeah.
No, that's real, man. Nah, I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I even learned that until way later in life.
Yeah, I learned it early.
Yeah. And and it still evolves because
definitely.
The way the dynamic, the relationship dynamics right now are on some all-time different shit than back then.
Right.
Like, it's so crazy now. Like, it's almost like you get more respect and attention now from women if I don't do that shit.
Yeah, because the birth of the independent woman, quote unquote.
Right, because they was before that.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They was way before that.
Yeah.
So even though they weren't getting treated how they felt they should have been treated, they still came home and cleaned the house.
Yeah.
They still came home and
it was a partnership.
Right. And it was that was what
role.
It was thought that the role of a woman was, and this was the role of a man, those things. But now things are changed. Yeah. Things are different. But now it's almost like the more I treat you like shit,
The worse, the more you like me.
The more you want to come on,
man.
The more you on my team.
This is a fact.
Because, you know, you can't be lovey-dovey. You can't be nice guy. You don't get no girls.
No.
It's very difficult. I was nice guy. I was friends with all the girls. I had to work to get girlfriends. I was friends with her because I was a nice guy. I was a poet.
Yeah.
I was, you had
all the little simp stuff.
Yeah,
you was
all
out
that.
there poet.
All of that.
Girl, let me read you this poem.
All of that. I had all of that. So it was difficult. But when I got with one, you know, once it got around how I was treating her,
they was like, "Oh, Jawari treating girls good."
Yeah, exactly.
Flowers,
exactly. I was doing those kind of things, little gifts, little notes in their lockers, things like, you know what I'm saying. I was doing that kind of stuff. So once I finally had a girlfriend in middle school and high school, then it was like, then it got around. Then I was like, I was the man. I was the man.
Look at R&B. That's the only thing you was missing, singing R&B to bitches.
Yeah, I was a rapper.
Yeah, I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. I was still performing, you know.
But you know, back in those days, it was so easy like that. Like you never were frowned upon for doing that back then.
Nah, nope.
It was so fun. Nope. It was like, it was like you could really be romantic.
Mm-hmm. Like getting the carnations around, you know, Valentine's Day.
I'm thinking about like in college, you know, which was probably right before things started going downhill with that. Like I knew I was supposed to do shit, but I remember one time, this is fucking hilarious. I was talking to 3 girls on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
You know, 3 of them. I was, you know, talking to, as we used to call it back then.
Right.
On the phone.
Talking to them.
You know, we wasn't doing nothing yet.
Right.
We was talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, the pressure is on now because it's Valentine's Day. What do I do? Man, I called this flower shop and ordered the same thing for all 3 girls.
Facts.
Like deliver this to her. It was all good.
It's beautiful.
Until one day
they met. You know, it's college. You know they're gonna run into each other.
Oh my God. Where you get your flowers from? Wait a minute.
Wait, what?
I got some. Oh, who got you those? Who got you those? Oh, my name was Mud for a minute, bruh. It was Mud. Yeah. And I was like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, you don't do that. You could at least changed up a little bit.
So lazy.
Got different vases or something.
I should have least different flowers.
Yeah.
I got the exact same flower.
Just
exact same card. The same description for every girl.
Lazy.
I don't know how I survived that ordeal
and
left
bad.
it with any of those girls,
That's
you know.
bad.
But yeah, we had a special era, man.
Yeah.
Now I feel like it's like you're saying, the less attention you give a woman, the better, because you don't want to look like a stalker.
It's this young people shit.
Yeah, you don't look thirsty.
Yeah.
Like women get all the attention they be wanting just on Instagram and fucking Twitter and Facebook.
Yep. As long as they get a couple likes, they cool.
They cool. Let them guys do that.
Yeah, they cool.
They got 30 dudes circling right now giving them that energy. Like if you look like you're not thirsty, they respect you 10 times more.
This is true. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Okay, that was number 3. Okay, we'll do number 4. Okay, number 4 lesson from my pops was you eat what you kill. So my pops' favorite activity was fishing. Fishing. So every fall, him and his buddies would drive up to Michigan, and they would spend during the salmon season, and they would just come back with just like boatloads of salmon, like huge salmon. And
y'all was eating for a minute,
bruh. This is
bad fish.
Yeah, we had a deep freezer back then.
Oh, yep.
Bigger than this table, like one of those joints that it's about 6 feet long and about 4 feet deep.
Yeah.
5 feet deep. We had a deep freezer back then. They would get home and they would just divide it all up. My pops would have his, and he would sit there and he would gut the fish and clean the fish and scale the fish. All then and there. That's all. And it would just smell like fish for a day or two. But it was like, yo, just watching my pops come in and like that had that connection that this is not just a fish I'm catching to put on a wall.
Yeah, this is food for my family.
Yeah, we throwing this in the freezer.
Yeah.
We'll be eating this for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I never went hunting or nothing as a kid. I never had that connection. You know, never shot a gun at nothing. You know, so I was just like the connection I had between nature and food, that between that and my parents having a garden in the backyard when we first grew up, that's what formed it. It was like, oh, you have this garden so you can make you know what I'm saying? You got food, you can grow your food and go get a tomato out the backyard.
Right.
Go get a green pepper. You know, we didn't have it a long time. We probably had it maybe 8-9 years.
Okay.
But that was long enough.
Yeah, to have the lesson imparted. Yeah.
And so between that and like my pops going fishing and regularly coming home and doing that, it just taught me that, like, yo, man, you eat what you kill, man. And that's in the literal sense right there, right? But in terms of life and earning a living and what you make of this motherfucking time on this planet, the same rule applies.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be prepared to go out and get it.
Yeah.
And if you're not gonna go get it, then you're gonna starve.
Yeah, it ain't gonna come to you.
No.
Yeah, you gotta work.
And sometimes you gotta drive across town. You gotta drive to another state. Sometimes you just gotta go to where that thing is that you need and get it and bring it back. And if you think that like this shit is gonna come to you in life, that you can just sit on your hands and somebody gonna throw a fucking 5-pound salmon on your plate.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or you just gonna catch the fish and it's somebody else's job to prepare it. I was like, no, I'm watching my parents chop the heads off, slice them in half. You know what I'm saying? The whole shit. I never did that shit. But from memory, I bet if you threw a fish in front of me right now, I probably could.
Yeah, you can find your way around the fish.
Like, yo, I literally watched this shit for a decade.
Yeah.
Like, I could do that off of memory alone. And I think that's a metaphor for life. Like you're saying, your kids know from watching you wake up and go to work every day that you're going to always have a job.
Yeah.
They're going to always be straight. Like, my pops taught me that lesson through just like fishing and hunting and going out and us actually like throwing it in the freezer and knowing that shit's going to be there.
Yeah, knowing we got food.
Yeah.
Knowing we good.
Yeah, this is the 80s.
Yeah.
Shit was rough in the 80s.
Hell yeah, it was rough.
You know? So that's that. So that's number 4?
Yeah, it's your number 4.
Okay, you're number 4.
All right, my number 4 is the importance of being present in your kid's life and in the life of your family in general. And this is a twofold one because my biological pops wasn't there.
Yeah.
So just seeing how that affected me growing up, when I found out that Taya was pregnant, I definitely did not want to impart that on my child and have them go through the same thing that I went through growing up, wondering why my father didn't want to be around, all of those kind of things. And that was very difficult for me, dealing with depression and dealing with a lot of things because of, dealing with not knowing why I didn't have my biological father around, even though I did have my stepfather. And the second part of this is with my stepfather. Like I said, he would come home from work and get his plate and go up in the room, and we ain't see him, for the rest of the night. And, he didn't help with homework. He didn't, barely watch TV with us. We could talk to him whenever we went, but he wasn't present. He was there, but he wasn't present in our everyday lives. He came to our football games, or my track meets, things like that. But just in everyday life, he wasn't really present. So everything really depended on my mom. A lot of the things that we got, as far as lessons learned and things like that were vocal, was from my mom. And mainly the thing we got is like, you go to work, you know what I'm saying? You get fed, you come home, you go to sleep.
That's it.
That's it.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, and even on the weekends, it was like he was up in the room like all weekends, unless we had a game or something. So just being present in my kids' lives makes it, it's more. I want to make sure that they understand. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and they know and they see me on a regular basis, and then I'm not just the dude that pays the light bill. Right.
And they'll probably not completely get that until they go over to their friend's houses or something. Yeah. And there will be no father around.
Yeah, no father around, or
he's doing that.
Yeah, or he's doing that.
And they're like, whoa, my house is way different. Our pops wouldn't even be, he'd be right here right now. Right. Chopping it up with us.
Exactly. Because I do it with their friends when they come over. Yeah. Like, I sit down, if somebody new. I mean, shoot, last night, 2 of their friends that were in town visiting their grandmother from Colorado, I cut their hair.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting down with kids, having conversations.
Yeah.
One of the dude rapped. I played him some beats. I sent him I played him some beats. He listened to one of the beats.
Oh, you rapped? Here's some beats. You just did this.
Yeah, like he was. I was like, he came down in the basement.
My pops got some fire.
Yeah, when he came down in the basement, like, oh, you got a studio? He's like, yeah, I do a little bit of rapping. I was like, oh, you do? Okay. He let me hear some stuff. I played him some beats, and he's like, oh, yo, that beat is fire. So I let him have it. I sent it to him.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So just connected with them, and spending time with them like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My pops would have never. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, not mine either.
Never been that interactive with my friends.
No, I don't recall my pops ever fucking with any of my friends.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like he was just on he would fuck with his friends and they would go kick it and whatever, play cards and drink and shit. But nah, not with my friends. He wasn't talking like that.
Right.
Very similar. Yeah. No, that's dope. Okay, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Where?
What's up, everybody? The deal we're running today on weightless.net is a Two-Headed Monster CD plus Two-Headed Monster t-shirt for just $20 total. That's the t-shirt and the CD for $20 total. The t-shirt we have in every size. That's small, medium, large, extra large, and 2XL. Every single size, men's sizes, we ship internationally. So you can get the CD and the t-shirt, or I should say CD and a t-shirt for just $20 on weightless.net. Go there right now and support the movement. Thank you. Peace. All right. Lessons from our fathers.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I like this one. Sometimes, this is the dopest shit of the week.
Of course it is.
It's like we just get to sit down and talk
about it, tell stories. And depending on what the topic is.
This is the realest shit too.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, sometimes a lot of this, it's amazing how much you can be taught indirectly.
Oh yeah, most of this it wasn't like I'm gonna teach you this lesson, boy.
Right.
It's like these are the things that we picked up just from watching, just from observing.
Yeah, it really shows you how important your presence is as a man. Like, and that kids are always watching. Like we always say, we had those do as I say, not as I do parents.
Right.
But it's like, yo, we watching what you do.
Yep.
That's the shit that stuck with us all these years. What they did. Okay, number 5.
Yeah.
Lesson. This is the last joint. And this is gonna be my controversial one.
You sure you want to go first?
Yo, I always get in trouble on this podcast when I take it. You think I should go last? It ain't gonna make it no better.
This might be a longer. Yours might be a longer.
It might be short.
It could be short.
It could be short.
All right.
I'm gonna just let you go last so we can end on a not controversial note.
All right.
Mine gonna be the controversial one. Okay. Number 5 lesson from my father. Is okay. So my father married my mom. My mom was from Alabama, small town, probably of 500 people. My pops was from Central Alabama, which is probably a couple thousand. Then my mom moved to Thomasville, which is probably same size. So both of them from really small towns. They met in Cleveland, Ohio. My mom, super religious. You know what I mean? Just like devout. Very conservative. God-fearing woman, and in every way, you know what I'm saying? And I love that about her. You know what I'm saying? After all these years, when you're kids, you don't like that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You're like, nah, man, I don't want to be around that. You know what I mean? Yeah. My parents are too strict.
Well, we got to go to church again.
We just went to church on Tuesday.
Right.
So I went to church Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Sundays. Sometimes twice on Sundays.
Yeah.
We would have early service, and then we had 5 o'clock youth service.
Evening service.
Yeah. Go home for a couple hours, come back 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah, been there.
So that's how my life was, man. And then you look at like, so then my mom, he was married for my mom for like 25 years. Then he gets divorced and he remarries a Vietnamese woman. The Vietnamese woman is just as conservative and, traditional, saying? Like maybe even more so. And when my pops first remarried the Vietnamese woman, I was just like, why would you marry a woman? She barely speaks English, Dad.
Right.
I was so confused, right? Like, Pops, she barely speaks English. But she would take care of this man. Like, she was very traditional, knew her role, handled everything. He would handle his shit, she would handle their shit. And they wouldn't have it was just like, everything is lined up. And when I was older, I came to see like, okay, what did your pop see in those women that made him marry them and be married for 25 years to each? He basically had 2 families, 2 lifetimes. Right. And it was that they were conservative women. And so to me, it's like I look at that and some people are going to take that the wrong way. Like we talked about off air, is that like some people hear conservative and they only think about it politically. They think that conservative equals Republican. Right. Conservative is usually used to describe like religion, you know what I'm saying? Like how you conduct yourself,
your way of life,
like things you get involved with versus the things you don't. What's your moral code? Where does that stand? What do you believe about the role in the family, about how the home should be ran, orchestrated, and how does this thing work best? Right. And if you have that thing down, everything else is easy because you don't have conflict over the things that all of these, super smart new friends, you know what I'm saying? Like these new people, the new wave things has now, because like, we're so progressive, we're so new age, we're on this, but it's just confusion when you compare it to someone who's got all that shit figured out before they even meet. They're like, well, I know what your role's gonna be. You believe in that? Boom. Yeah. Simple. But that's what my pops did. He was like, I'm just gonna marry conservative women. And to me, I've always felt like if I'm gonna get married, the lesson I took from that was like, if you get married, marry a woman like that. Marry a woman who who knows, who has a very traditional role, a view of the family, spirituality, and all these things. Because at the end of the day, when you look at like having a religious background, the man isn't the final say, the woman is the final say, the word is the final say. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's God.
What's
God
the tiebreaker?
Yeah, straight up.
Right. And so those couples don't have that thing. And I look at that like, that's something that I can see. And as my entire life, I grew up in the church, and some of us are afraid to say that we are conservative or that we are religious. Right. Because religious, if you're religious, then you're conservative. Right. I don't care what you say. You know exactly. You can't be one without the other.
Yeah. Because you ask a lot of people that claim they're liberal. Yeah. And you say, okay, do you believe this? Do you believe that? You start naming these are all conservative traits. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Especially black people.
Exactly.
Like, keep it funky. Most black people are conservative as hell.
Deeply conservative.
Just because, politically.
We pretend to be liberal every 4 years.
Yeah. Straight up.
Try to get some votes.
Straight up. Straight up. Like, we are conservative by default. Yes. That's just in our makeup, in our DNA. And the confusion of that it's a political thing is where the problem lies.
Right. Totally. And like, I can see it. I see look back at all of those couples who were together for 50, 60 years, our grandparents. Were people more liberal then? More conservative then? Or more conservative then?
Yeah. Super conservative.
That's why they were able to stay together. And I'm like, if I do get married, that's what it's probably gonna be. Yeah. It's gotta have that element in it, or like, what the fuck is the foundation of this shit?
Yeah, I think it's more about, like you said earlier, moral code. Yeah. There's a way that you do things in life. Whether and roles, who cares about the roles necessarily? But it's like you have a foundation of shit. Yes. And that foundation is what you build your relationship off of. Both of you have a foundation of something. And if there is a disagreement, then you do have that tiebreaker of the word. You do have that tiebreaker. Well, what did God say about how we should operate, or whatever religion that you're in? Right. Because, the Vietnamese woman, she wasn't necessarily a Christian, probably. Right. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's my wife is conservative. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
We talk about, like, I went to your wedding. I'm like your wife's, what you say, her pops was
her grandmother was a grandmother was
preacher and stuff. So it's like, man, come on, man, who we fooling out here? Yeah, like, people, we act like something is wrong with it politically, but I mean, would you rather marry somebody who
has no morals, no code, no foundation of anything,
twerking on the gram, telling you that that's what it's supposed to be, and you have no recourse?
Yeah, if you don't like it, too bad. I'm a twerk if I want to twerk.
Right.
If you like me, then you like me. If you love me, then you love me. Right.
Nah, man. I never had. You don't gotta have that conversation with certain kinds of women because it's understood that conduct, even without your marriage,
right,
is frowned upon.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even have the conversation because it wouldn't even be present.
See,
you know what I'm saying? My wife is wild. She could be crazy.
Yeah,
you know, she like to dance. She like to get out. But I would never see videos of her twerking on the ground.
Hell no, it ain't happening.
It ain't happening. It ain't going down.
Ain't gonna
whether
be
I was with her or not.
No, ain't gonna be no thirst trapping.
Nah.
Ain't gonna be no boobs out. Ain't gonna be no twerking. Ain't gonna be none of that shit because of how she was raised, and that ain't got nothing to do with politics.
Yeah.
You know,
and
so that's I learned that from my pops.
Yeah, man, we gonna get some emails.
I know some people be mad about that.
It's gonna be some comments.
Just being honest, man.
What you mean rolls, Print?
Yeah.
What you mean rolls?
Oh, I ain't fixing you no plate anyway. You know, women will not fix you a plate nowadays, man.
Oh, that's just great.
You got 2 legs. Fix your own plate.
You know where the food is. You know where the kitchen is.
Man, I saw my niece do that to her boyfriend.
Oh, really?
Last time I was home for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And I was just like, this is his first time here, and you sent him in the kitchen talking about he got 2 legs. I said,
that's why.
You better fix your fucking boyfriend a plate. She's like 21, 22.
Yeah.
I said, go fix that man a plate. No, she thinks she is. We ain't gonna get into that. That's a topic that we definitely will get in trouble for on this podcast. We're gonna avoid that. But needless to say, she's not one of those. Yeah,
she's one of those.
She's not on her job, and I think she's gonna lose him. And I think she's actually like doing really well. Like he could do.
He could be a good one.
Yeah. He's got some potential, man. You know. But I'm gonna let that play out, and then I'll have a conversation with her about it.
Let that breathe a little bit. Let that breathe.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and cook.
All right.
Before I get myself in trouble on this podcast.
All right. So my last one, and you kind of mentioned it earlier, but that as a father, my advice won't fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
One of the things that I remember growing up, and unlike your dad, my dad did lecture us.
Yeah.
But sitting there rolling my eyes, sitting there huffing and puffing, all of that shit. As I got older, I remember those conversations. As much as I wanted him to think I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't listening, that he was just, going in one ear and out the other. As I grow up and as I get into those situations that he was trying to teach me about and tell me about and talk to me about, I remember now it's like, if I only would have listened when I was 16,
right?
Now I'm 36, and it's like, all of that. Yeah, man. So I try to do that with my kids and try to think in that time without getting frustrated at the fact that when I am speaking to them, even if it's just in passing or if it's an extended talk, that the fact that they may look like they're not paying attention, that this information will get through eventually once they truly understand and they're in the circumstances where it's applicable.
And your job as a father is to just say it, right? Whether you got the audience's attention or not, you still got to do your set. You still got to get your bars off, man. Right. Oh, y'all at the bar? I'm still dropping this. I'm starting my set now. Y'all need to hear this.
Yeah, because then if something happens where, damn, if I would have told them, they can never say my dad never told me that.
You did your job.
I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah,
that's really dope. And it's crazy. Like as a dad, I remember the difference. Like my mom could say something 20 times.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, whatever. It just sounded like that to me. And I'd be like doing the same thing. My pops could just roll up and say it once real low. Like, hey, look up here, boy. And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
I hear you, Dad. I got you. It was just something about a man speaking to a man that hit harder than a woman speaking to you.
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially when your mom is always at you anyway.
Right. And especially if you're a teenager.
Yes.
Because dad can still whip your ass.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like moms, she might try.
Yeah.
But she ain't like once you get 14 and up, 13 and up, it ain't really happening with moms. But dad will knock you out.
Intimidation factor.
That dad can still knock you out. Yeah. So that does change things.
That's dope, man. So that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's 10. So I'll read them back. I'll do my 5 and you do your 5.
Okay.
So lessons from our father. Number 1, have dignity. My number 2 was never argue with women. Choose your battles. Number 3, slow and steady wins the race. Number 4, eat what you kill. Number 5, Conservative John. Get your conservative John. You'll be married mad long with a conservative John.
Mad comments
I
coming.
know.
Mad comments. My 5, number 1 was have a good work ethic. Number 2, have multiple streams of income. Number 3, treat your woman right. Give her some flowers, a card every now and then.
Yeah.
Number 4, the importance of being present in your kid's life as far as being there, and even if you are there, being part of their everyday. And number 5, as a father, that your advice will not fall on deaf ears.
My man. Okay, that's it this week.
Good shit.
See y'all next week.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Super Duty Tough Work. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud. Peace.
Shoot, I got styles already that's more complex that nobody know about. I mean, super duty tough work.